You have been setting a table for a long time, not the one in your kitchen, the one inside you, the one with the cloth your grandmother gave you, folded carefully. The candles you have moved closer to the center and then further apart. The chair across from yours that has stayed empty for so long, the fabric has begun to fade in the sun. You set this table because you believed someone was coming, and lately a quiet voice has been asking whether you have been setting it for no one. Notice your shoulders right now. Where are they? They have been near your ears for years. Your body has been holding a posture you cannot feel anymore, bracing for a love that always came with a price tag, a clipboard, a quiz you did not study for. You forgot what it would feel like to put them down. Tonight I want to give you something no one has given you yet. Not another assurance that He is coming, not another reminder that God's timing is perfect. You already know those things. What you have been carrying is a quieter question, one without a verse next to it, because it has not been asked out loud. The question is this: when real love finally arrives, what is it going to feel like? Will I recognize it? Will my body know? Tonight, I am going to answer that question with vocabulary. Because here is what is true. Real love does not feel the way the world trained you to feel for it. It does not arrive loud. It does not arrive urgent. It does not ask you to perform a version of yourself to receive it. The love you were taught to recognize, the love of intensity, of chase, of breathless messages and dramatic gestures, of being needed because someone else cannot stand on his own, that was the counterfeit. And your body learned it so deeply that when the real thing arrives, it may feel almost foreign to you, not because something is wrong, because your nervous system is meeting something it has never had language for. So here are 5 things that real love will feel like. And because the man God is preparing for you is being formed in specific places to give you each of these, I am going to show you the school as we go. The first thing is this: you will stop performing love and start receiving it. For most of your adult life, love has been something you earned, something you produced, something you stayed available for, stayed quiet for, stayed small for. You learned to be loved by being useful, by being low maintenance, by apologizing first. Love was a transaction, and you were the one always proving you were worth the price. Beloved, real love does not ask that of you. Picture the morning by the Sea of Galilee in John 21. Cold sand, salt in the air, the smell of fish on the grill, and the smell Peter would have recognized immediately: charcoal. The same kind of fire he had stood next to on the worst night of his life, when he denied 3 times that he even knew the man he had followed for 3 years. The smell hits him before the words do. And here is Jesus, sitting on the other side of that same fire, looking at him not with disappointment, not with a list, but with a single question: do you love me? Not, will you serve me? Not, will you fix what you broke? Not, will you earn back what you lost? Do you love me? In that moment, Peter learned the deepest lesson a man can learn about love: that grace is not a transaction. That love finds you in the place of your failure, not in the place of your impressive recovery. Romans 5-8 tells us that Christ died for us while we were still sinners, not after we had cleaned ourselves up. He learned to receive before he could give. And the man God is preparing for you is in this same school. He is learning that love is not a performance review. When he arrives, you will not need to earn your place at the table. you will sit down and let love find you there. The second thing is this: you will feel chosen when no one is watching. You have been chosen before, but it was the wrong kind. You were chosen at parties, chosen for the camera, chosen because of how you looked standing next to him. And then, in the quiet, in the moments when no one was watching, the choosing got softer, easier to take back. Real love does not work like that. Open 1 Samuel 20 and watch what Jonathan does. David is hiding. Saul has decided David must die. And at the king's table, Jonathan stands up to his own father, risks his inheritance, his throne, his life, to defend a man who is not even in the room. Saul throws a spear at his own son. Jonathan walks out of that dining hall with nothing visibly gained. He goes out into the field where David is hiding, and he says, "Go in peace, for we have sworn both of us in the name of the Lord." No applause, no witnesses he is trying to impress. Choosing someone at personal cost in a room they will never see. The man God is preparing for you is being trained in this. He is learning to speak well of women in rooms they will never know about. He is learning to refuse the joke that diminishes. He is learning to choose in private. When he arrives, something will shift in your body that you will not immediately be able to name. You will stop scanning his eyes for evidence. You will stop reading between his words for proof. You will rest because the choosing is constant, and most of it happens where you are not watching. The third thing is this: you will discover that he has been preparing for you in silence. For a long time, you have felt that all the preparation was happening only on your side. You have worked on yourself in seasons no one applauded. You have walked away from people and things that no one congratulated you for leaving. And somewhere in there, you began to suspect that you were the only one paying. That is not true. Genesis 29 gives us one of the most beautiful sentences in all of Scripture. Jacob meets Rachel at a well, sees her once, knows. He goes to her father and asks for her hand, and Laban says, "Work for me 7 years, and she will be yours." And then the text says this: "So Jacob served 7 years for Rachel, and they seemed to him but a few days, because of the love he had for her. 7 years of waking before dawn. 7 years of working in someone else's field. 7 years of nights he could have given up, and it felt like a few days, because of the love. The man God is preparing for you is in his own 7 years. He has prayed for you without knowing your face. He has rejected things and people in order to be the man who could one day stand next to you. He has sat in rooms paying for hours no one will ever see. And when he arrives, beloved, you will discover something that will undo you in the best way. You have not been waiting alone. The time was not the enemy. The years were a love letter, written from a desk you could not see, by a man who was learning your name before he ever heard it. Before I go further, I want to pause and name 3 things. Some of you are already married, and the man you married is still being formed. That is not failure, that is marriage. The same God who forms before vows continues to form inside them. Stay, pray, trust the work. He is not finished with your husband yet, and that is grace, not punishment. Some of you have been waiting so long that you have stopped trusting the waiting itself. I am not asking you to feel hopeful tonight. I am asking you to feel held. God knows where you are, even on the nights you have stopped believing He does. And some of you, if the love you knew before was harm, what I am describing tonight will feel foreign to you. That is not a red flag. That is your body remembering counterfeits, and getting ready for the real thing. Real love can feel strange at first. That is detox, not danger. Stay with it. The fourth thing is this. You will not need to fix anything in him. This is the one you will feel most in your body, beloved. Because for years now, your love has come with a clipboard. You have loved men whose growth was your responsibility. You have been the second prefrontal cortex of a grown man, and your back has been hurting for years. Real love does not ask that of you. Turn to the end of Job. Job has lost everything: children, wealth, health, dignity. He has spent chapter after chapter demanding answers. And then God shows up in a whirlwind and does not answer a single one of his questions. God only asks him questions back. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Have you commanded the morning since your days began? And Job, this man who has been talking for chapters, finally says the most important words. I have heard of you by the hearing of the ear, but now my eye sees you. He met his own limit. At the feet of God, with no one to impress, he stopped trying to explain. He let himself be small in the presence of the only one who is large. The man God is preparing for you has been meeting his own limit in his own whirlwind. He has been learning, in rooms you cannot see, that he cannot fix his own deepest places by force of will, and that a man who has met his limit at the feet of his Maker is the only kind of man who can love a woman without asking her to be his project manager. When he arrives, beloved, you will feel it almost immediately. Your shoulders will drop. You will be allowed to be a woman in his presence, not a clinician.